All right, so bird update, or I guess response. Hi everyone. I wasn't expecting such a response, and I'm not saying this to brag. Usually my videos get stuck in 200 view jail, and people who know me in real life see them. I was not expecting this video to hit tens of thousands of viewers. So hi, if you don't know me, I'm Liz. I try new things, and last week I tried saving baby birds for the first time. It was an unexpected Liz tries. I got so many comments saying, oh God, why'd you touch them? Oh God, put them back in the nest. How dare you touch them, put them back in the nest? Why don't you just put them back in the nest? Get a ladder and put them back in the nest. There were a number of reasons why I did not put them back in the nest. First of all, it's the first time I've ever handled any sort of wild animals. I didn't really know what to do, and me saying, hey guys, what do I do, was not an actual question for the masses. That was a rhetorical question, and originally recorded as a Snapchat to my friends that I spliced together into a vlog that I thought would resonate with people, and apparently it did in a lot of different ways. The nest was made of what looked to be 3 sticks and a dream. It did not look very stable, and so I was not confident in putting all of these little baby birds back in said nest because it looked like they were about to fall right out. It looked pretty apparent why they fell out of the nest in the first place, if it is the nest that I'm assuming they came from. I have no idea how long they were on the ground for, and mind you, when I first came upon them, they did not look good. They looked quite dead, okay? I did not want to disturb them or move them, period. I wanted to be as gentle with them as possible. I was just thinking support. I was not thinking put them back in the nest because I was afraid they're going to fall right back out. Not to mention, I didn't have a ladder. And I was also on my way to work, so I didn't have time to go source a ladder and put them all back, hope that they don't fall out again, to the spirit of not wanting to touch them or move them or handle them as little as possible. I did not want to pluck each one of them off from the bag that I put them on the ground, to get them off of the gravel and move them again into the box. So that's why I just picked them all up as one unit on the Chipotle bag. Not a sponsor. Again, I just got the bag out of my recycling, and it was probably the softest piece of cardboard paper material that I had in my recycling that I could find, and put them in my makeshift nest. On my drive into work, I was making several calls to all of the wildlife centers in town that I could think of, and I was asking my coworkers, like, what do I do? And so finally I heard from a couple different places. Turns out the wildlife center that took them in was pretty close to where I live, so I didn't even wait for them to call me back. I left a message, but then when I thought better of it, I just decided to go in the car and drive them there as fast as possible. You know, when I got to the wildlife center and the expert that took them in and did the intake said that I did good. You know what? So I will take it. I explained in depth, like every little step that I took along the way that whole day when she received them, and she said, you did good. She put them under heat. She gave them some fluids. She said that they seemed pretty hardy. They were all alive, and we were kind of theorizing. She's like, they were so young, it was hard to tell, but we both think that it's a finch of some variety. I'm not a bird expert. I'm not a birder yet, especially from the adult birds that I could see flying around. It looked like a finch, and she said finches are pretty resilient and pretty hardy. And on the intake form, I put down my personal information. She said, if you want to be contacted, it may take a couple of weeks to hear anything back because we're busy handling up to 2,000 cases of wildlife animals a year. So if and when I hear a response back from the wildlife center, I will update all of you. And again, this wildlife center is made for this purpose, right? I looked on their website. It said they take in songbirds, they take in squirrels, they take in raccoons. Like, this is what they're built for. You know, I was not built for this. And for the people who maybe don't want to be nice in the comments and want to be critical of the way that I handled it in 10 to 15 minute window while I was on my way out the door, I'm not an expert. I'm sure you're not either. But the fact that I was able to whip something together as quick as I did and contact the right people who are equipped to handle this, I personally think I did okay. If the experts are telling me that I did fine, then I will take it. I do appreciate all the people who are being kind and supportive in the comments, And all of that to say, support your local wildlife centers who have the expertise to deal with these cases, whose job it literally is to care for these animals. Without them and having them as a resource, doing these kinds of things would be extremely difficult, if not impossible. So please support your local wildlife centers, support your local parks. Thank you for being interested in this story, and follow along for more updates, I guess.